Anti-Money Laundering Employee Training AML Training April 2021. Objective of the training. At the end of the training program, participants should be able to understand, the process of money laundering, the laws and regulations on anti-money laundering, the roles and responsibilities of employees in helping identify and prevent money laundering in the company. Define money laundering. RA 9160 Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001, as amended. Money laundering is a crime whereby the proceeds of an unlawful activity are transacted, thereby making them appear to have originated from legitimate sources. 3 Predicate crimes to money laundering: kidnapping for ransom, drug trafficking and related offenses, graft and corruption, plunder, robbery and extortion, illegal gambling such as jutang and meijio, piracy on the high seas, qualified theft, swindling, smuggling and others. Money laundering is committed by any person who, knowing that any monetary instrument or property represents, involves, or relates to the proceeds of any unlawful activity, a. transacts, converts, transfers, disposes of, moves, acquires, possesses or uses. 7 to 14 years imprisonment and fine of not less than Php 3 million but not more than twice the value of the instrument or property involved. Penalties: conceals or disguises the true nature, source and other pertinent information, attempts or conspires to commit ML offenses, aids, abets, assists in, or counsels the commission of the ML offenses, performs or fails to perform any act as a result of which he facilitates the offense of ML. Penalties: 4 to 7 years imprisonment and fine of not less than Php 1,500,000 but not more than Php 3 million. Money. Any covered person who, knowing that a covered or suspicious transaction is required under the AMLA to be reported to the AMLC, fails to do so. Penalty for failure to file and submit CTRs and or STRs: 6 months to 4 years imprisonment and or fine of not less than Php 100,000 but not more than Php 500,000. AML and collection of dirty money, placement, layering, integration, deposits dirty money into the financial system, structured deposits, currency exchange, change of denominations, blending of funds, conceals the source of the money through series of transactions, structured deposits and withdrawals, wire transfers, converting cash into other monetary instruments, loan arrangements, withdrawal of the laundered money and back into the system, investment of real estate, purchase of luxurious assets, funding of investments. Stages of money laundering. Define terrorist financing. Terrorist financing is the direct or indirect provision or collection of funds or property, or attempted provision or collection of such funds or property, of legal or illegal origin, with the intent or knowledge that they are to be used, in full or in part, to carry out or facilitate a terrorist activity or terrorist-related activity, by an individual terrorist or by a terrorist organization, association or group. Financing is committed by principle any person, directly or indirectly, possesses, provides, collects or uses property or funds to carry out or facilitate the commission of any terrorist act. Reclusion temporal in its maximum period to reclusion perpetua and fine of not less than Php 500,000.00 nor more than Php 1 million. Organizes or directs others to commit financing of terrorism. Deals with any property or funds that he knows or has reasonable ground to believe is owned, controlled by a designated person or organization or association, makes available property, funds or financial service or other related services to a designated person or organization or association. Financing is committed by 10 conspirator comes to an agreement on the commission of such offense and decides to commit it. Accomplice cooperates in the execution of either the crime or the conspiracy of financing of terrorism. Accessory having knowledge of the crime, but takes part by, profiting from or assisting the principal to profit, by effects of the crime, concealing or destroying the body, effects or instruments of the crime, harboring, concealing or assisting in the escape of the principal. Loading money laundering and terrorist financing. A12 Anti-Money Laundering Council, AMLC, BANGKO Central NG Philippines, BSP, Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC Insurance Commission, IC, Designated Non-Financial Businesses and Professions, DNFBP, Foreign Exchange Dealer, Money Changer, Casino including Internet-based casino and ship-based Casino Covered Persons Appropriate Government Agency, AGA, PAGCORA. Primary obligations of a covered person. Customer identification, monitoring of transactions, reporting of covered and suspicious transactions to AMLC. Record keeping. Customer identification. Casinos shall establish, record and verify the true and full identity of its customers. A. Customer identification process, determining the identity of customer by creating acceptance policies and procedures. B. Customer due diligence, verifying the identity of customer through risk-based, ongoing monitoring. Casinos shall have clear, written and graduated acceptance policies and procedures. When to do SIP upon onboarding, opening of account, transaction reaches the threshold of PHP 200,000. Minimum customer information, natural person, name of customer, date and place of birth, present address, permanent address, contact number or information, nationality, proof of identification and identification number, nature of work including name of employer or nature of bus. As self-employment, source of funds. Customer information must be recorded in the Casino Management System, CMS, accurately and completely, and must be updated regularly. Minimum customer information, juridical persons. Certificate of registration issued by DTI for sole proprietors, or certificate of incorporation or partnership for corporations, partnerships, articles of incorporation, partnership, registration data sheet, latest general information sheet, secretary's certificate. Citing the board's partner's resolution to enter into an agreement transaction with the casino and the name of the authorized representative signatory of the corporation, partnership, current office, address, contact number or information identification of all persons purporting to ACT on behalf of juridical persons or legal arrangements shall also be verified and established. Valid and acceptable identification documents for Filipino citizens, those issued by any of the following official authorities: Government of the Republic of the Philippines, including its political subdivisions, agencies, and instrumentalities, government-owned or government-controlled corporations, GOCs, and covered persons registered with and supervised or regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, BSP, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, or the Insurance Commission, IC. For foreign nationals, passport, alien certificate of registration, copy of identification document presented and photo of customer are uploaded in the Casino Management System, CMS. Valid and acceptable identification document. Valid acceptable ID, not expired, complete our, P's name, photo of ID owner, signature of ID owner. Face-to-face verification. A. Upon account opening and or establishment of business relationship. B. As reasonably practicable, provided that the risks associated to customer and his transactions are effectively managed. No withdrawal or transfer of funds shall be allowed without conducting face-to-face contact. Name screening, checking whether customer is part of any blacklists or regulatory lists. A. PAGCA's list of banned personalities. B. Sanction list provided by international agencies such as United Nations, Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol. See online search engines like WorldCheck, Veridox, etc. Customers with adverse record. I. Assess the risk associated to customer and his transaction. 2. Refer to management for approval. Politically exposed person, PEP. Politically exposed person, PEP, refers to an individual who is or has been entrusted with prominent public position in A. the Philippines, with substantial authority over policy, operations or the use allocation of government resources. B. A foreign state. C. An international organization. AML training. April 2021-22. Immediate family members within the second degree of consanguinity or affinity. Close relationship. Associate, persons who are widely and publicly known, socially or professionally, to maintain a particularly close relationship with the PEP. Persons who are in a position to conduct substantial domestic and international financial transactions on behalf of the PEP. Mandate from the Office of the President Memorandum Circular No. 06. Series of 2016. All government officials and employees are prohibited from entering, staying and/or playing at gambling casinos. What to do? For local PEPs, government officials or employees refer to supervisor and discreetly refuse entry and acceptance of his transaction. For foreign PEPs, refer to supervisor for proper handling. Conduct due diligence. Identify risks associated to PEP and hire and sanction. Secure approval from senior management prior to acceptance. Establish agent and beneficial owner. Apart from the customer, casino shall also establish the identity of A, customer's agent, third-party intermediary; B, beneficial owner on whose behalf a transaction or an activity is being conducted. AML Training, April 2021-25. Casinos shall determine the relationship between the parties and shall apply the same criteria for assessing risk profiles and due diligence to both parties. Customer risk profiling prior to opening the account, based on the information gathered and documents presented. Casino shall risk profile the customer, to prevent suspicious individuals or entities from transacting with, or establishing or maintaining business relationship with casino. AML Training, April 2021-26. Low risk, proceed to open account; medium high risk, secure management approval. Will be customer due diligence, CDD, the process where relevant information of the customer, including his transactions and activities, are collected and evaluated for any potential risk of money laundering and/or terrorist financing. When to do CDD? To establish the full identity of customer, agents and representatives. Transaction reaches the threshold of PHP 500. 000. Any suspicion on the transaction and/or activity of the customer on regular basis for ongoing monitoring purposes. Customer due diligence. CDD, risk-based customer profile. Background, personal information, residence or country of origin, source of income, nature of work, social status, PEP, government employee, etc. Product and service deposit, withdrawal, buy-in or chip return. Purpose of transaction: is it for front money or for marker payment? Is it funds return or verified winnings? Delivery channel: cash, check or wire transfer. Transacting party: patron or agent. Coding: reduced enhanced customer due diligence. Low risk patron apply reduced customer due diligence. Medium high risk patron apply enhanced customer due diligence. What is enhanced customer due diligence? Additional gathering, checking, verification of data to minimize risk exposures and violations of regulatory compliance. To prevent money laundering or terrorist financing or other financial crimes. 9 additional procedures for ED 30. Conduct ongoing monitoring of patron and his transactions, on a monthly basis. Except if patron has no substantial activities during the review period. Sources of information for monitoring and review: preliminary suspicious transaction report, PSTR, from operations or suspicious transaction report during daily audit, or list of patrons with incomplete expired information, or list of patrons tagged as medium high risk. Examples of medium high risk: customer residence, nationality is from high risk jurisdiction. Source of income: nature of business, employer is from high-risk sector with adverse media information. Confirmed PEP transactions from third parties, agents or representatives. With huge amount of cash transactions, minimal or no gaming activities. Prohibited account transaction. AML Training, April 2021 32, anonymous account. Numbered account and account under fictitious name, transaction involving the conversion of cash from one form to another without being used in gaming. A. Cash for transmittal through wire or telegraphic transfer. B. Payment in cash of funds received through wire or telegraphic transfer. C. Cashing of checks or other negotiable instruments, receiving cash. the purpose or ownership of which cannot be ascertained within a period of at least 7 days from the date of receipt, using of casino chips in the premises other than the issuing casino. Monitoring and reporting of transactions, covered transaction single casino cash transaction amount in excess of PHP 5000 within 5 working days. Suspicious transaction regardless of amount within the next working day from occurrence when a casino transaction is determined to be both a covered transaction and a suspicious transaction, it shall be reported as a suspicious transaction. Suspicious circumstances, no underlying legal or trade obligation. Purpose or economic justification, the client is not properly identified, amount is not aligned with the business or financial capacity of the client, transaction is structured in order to avoid being. The reporting requirements deviate from customer's profile and or past transactions related to any unlawful activity that is about to, is being or has been committed, similar, analogous or identical to any of the foregoing SUSPICIOUS. What to do? Refer to supervisor for proper handling. Conduct due diligence. Identify risks associated to customer and his transaction. If the customer or his transaction poses high risk, refuse the transaction. Secure approval from senior management prior to acceptance. Request CCTV review from surveillance team. Prepare preliminary suspicious transaction report, PSTR, and forward to AML compliance officer red flags or tags on customer. Reporting of CTR and STR. Casinos shall ensure the completeness and accuracy and timeliness of CTRS and STRS in procedures and forms prescribed by AMLA submitted in secured manner. Electronic submission. Penalty for failure to file and submit CTRS and or STRS 6 months to 4 years imprisonment and or fine of not less than PHP 100,000 but not more than PHP 500. 000 Confidentiality of reporting. Casinos, and its officers and employees, are prohibited from communicating directly or indirectly, in any manner or by any means, to any person or entity or the media, the fact that a transaction has been or is about to be reported, the contents of the report, and any other information in relation thereto. Penalty for breach of confidentiality 3 to 8 years imprisonment and fine of not less than PHP 500,000 but not more than PHP 1,000,003. Record keeping. Customer records and transaction documents 5 years from the date of transaction, CDD records, account files, business correspondences. Analysis results 5 years following the closure of account, CTRS and STRS 5 years from date of submission to AMLA. CCTV footages. Risk-based approach, EXC. For STR-related activities with case filed in court may go beyond 5 years, until the case has been resolved, decided or terminated with finality. Form of records. Organized and confidential manner, which allows to establish an audit trail. Original form or any form sufficient to permit reconstruction that will be admissible in court. Penalty for failure to keep records 6 months to 1 year imprisonment and or fine of not less than PHP 100,000 but not more than PHP 500. 000. Records shall be maintained in availability of records. Records and documents shall be readily available to AMLA and PACCA. In the exercise of their official functions or upon order by a competent authority, records and documents are submitted in a manner, quality and period that would assist AMLA and PACCA in their prompt investigation and institution of legal actions. Additional AML compliance. AML CTF training, aerogram. All directors, officers and responsible employees shall undergo AML CTF training program. 1. Upon hiring. Before start of official duty. 2. Refresher training on annual basis. Training material, proof of attendance and employee comprehension shall be documented, and shall be available to AMLA and PACCA review upon request.